Peace and light and peace, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the OahspeCollegeUniversity solution to yesterday's ancient knowledge. Topic of discussion today is religion in heaven. Some years back, I did a video about slavery in heaven, where I show from the OahspeC how humans are made of slaves. They become slaves in heaven due to them following certain rites and ceremony and following religion that does not belong to the creator. About 2 weeks ago, I was watching one of the debates, and I can't remember the exact debate, but there's been a lot of multiple debates going on among spiritual brothers and sisters. And one of them made a statement, said there's no such thing as religion in heaven. And when that person made that statement, my eyebrows went up, like, huh? What is he talking about? In any case, part of my part in life is to provide a solution to yesterday's knowledge that got lost. Luckily for us, in our current era, the OahspeC gathered this information from ancient records. You want to call it the libraries of heaven. So in order to prove this from the OahspeC, I have to present a bunch of books with chapters. So I'm going to go to the Book of Knowledge, chapter 6, verse 3. As a man lives on earth, acquiring perfections or imperfections in spirit, so will he enter the eastward at death. The eastward is heaven. So this verse is clearly showing that as a man, we humans, as we live in our world, we develop our character, we develop our thinking faculty, we develop spirituality. Whatever you hold as part of your spirituality, whether it's perfect or imperfect, you're going to enter heaven with that. So imagine now you follow your current belief system. It could be the Kemet, it could be the Hebrew Israelites, it could be Judaism, it could be Christianity, it could be Islam, it could be believing spirits, it could be voodoo. Whatever you believe will enter to heaven with you. And OahspeC clearly stated this in the Book of Knowledge, chapter 6, verse 3, saying, whatever imperfection and perfections that you've acquired while on earth, you'll follow that. Now, in the Book of Judgment, chapter 26, verse 10 states, verse 10 says, for the same rule holds on earth and in heaven regarding the bondage of the mind. If by imposing rites and ceremonies, by the stratagem and cunning of mortal praise, they can be captured on earth, so can they also retain in bondage in heaven. So what this verse 10 of chapter 26 from the Book of Judgment is saying is that, say for example, I believe that by drinking water, I will acquire knowledge. That belief that by drinking water you will acquire knowledge will follow me and enter to heaven with me. Now, if that belief in my mind was used to be converted as a form of religion or rites and ceremony, then someone else in the past also have done that in heaven. And so if you could believe it while on earth, same thing applies in heaven. So when you meet angels who believe in the same thing, there you go. You follow that path and continue with that. So to say that religion in heaven doesn't exist, that's mind-blowing. It does exist and it continues. And a lot of people don't believe it. Some do, some don't. But my presentation today is to show clearly that religion in heaven does exist and it does continue, because whatever you believe in this world will follow you in heaven, as stated in the book of Exodus, chapter 30, verse 13. Verse 13, for the spirits of lower heaven, like mortals, have multitudes, you see that? Multitudes of doctrine. And for the most part, they know nothing about the higher heavens, which is the Ethereal heaven, which I proclaim to you. You see that? In the book of Exodus, chapter 30, verse 13. 13 says, for the spirits of the lower heaven, like mortals, have multitudes of doctrine. And for the most part, they know nothing about the higher heaven. You see that? So, yeah, verse 13 is saying that they have lots of spirits in the lower heaven, just like humans. And they have multitudes of doctrine. Some have doctrines, while in heaven they have doctrines about you cannot eat frog. They have humans on earth saying that you cannot eat frog. You see that? That's a doctrine, a belief system that was attached either to your tradition or to your belief system. You see? They said, oh, and then you got some people who say, oh yeah, if you're gonna eat the frog, just cut two of the legs or four of the legs, and you could eat the body of the frog. That's a doctrine. Okay? And this follows a lot of people to heaven when they die, and they continue to follow that. You see, now in the book of knowledge, chapter 7, verse 13 and 15. Verse 13, now hear this, for one man worshipped science, it was his base. You see that? So this person, while on earth, believed in science, so he let that science get to him, and it was his base. Another worship riches, and it was his base. Another fashion, another lust, another worship nothing. Each of these things that was worship become the person's beast. Now all this and other like them continue to do the same thing after death. You see that? That's the keynote. That is the secret. They continue to do the same thing after death. For that which they are built up on earth become as a living entity within them, and they could not put it away. This was first resurrection, being the birth of unclean man in the spirit world. Spirit world is heaven. You see that? So if you worship, this is a perfect example, because I'm from Nigeria, right? And a lot of people, even before they even converted to Christianity, Islam, we have our belief system. And most people in the village, even in the city, people still do it. They take idols, they believe in idols, right? So I'm going to use me as an example. So forget about all these people. I'm from Nigeria, so this is something I have done before. So I'm not denying it, and I'm not lying about it. That's part of spiritual progression. That's part of spiritual ascension. How you come from a low graded understanding of spirituality, and then you come to the higher grade. That's perfection. That's ascending. So taking a bottle and put it in front of the tree, right? And you worship it. Imagine if I had continued to worship it till my time of death. I'll believe that that bottle is my genie, my God, and I'll take that to heaven and also believe in it. So now imagine all these people that believe that some tree produces luck, gives them wealth, right? We have this. This is true. This is real life now. We have people like this that believe in things like this, right? They will take that because that's their beast now. They'll take that to heaven and believe it. And the interesting stuff is they'll see people who also believe in the same thing in heaven. So they'll follow the people to go to that part of heaven. You see, this is why I love the OahspeC, because it gives you clarity, right? Verse 15. For one people worship Brahma, making a beast of him. Another worship Buddha. Another worship Christ. Another Jesus, forever parading his crucifixion. And they all made a base of their idols. You see that? And the base that each one built up with his soul become an entity to him on his entrance into the spirit life. You see that? And these evil spirits became like gods, in fact, building kingdoms in the lower heavens and making subjects and slaves of their worshippers, compelling them to contribute part of earning in labor and spirit, even as mortal kings exalt tributes on earth. And these rulers had thousands and millions of subjects enslaved, and their cities were as represented to mortars, paved in comparative pearls and diamond. And so before Cosman, the organic heavens situated close to earth were divided up among four ends of the beast. Four ends of the beast will be the four major religions: Christianity, Buddha, Islam, and Hinduism slash Brahmanism. And yet, beside this, there most or near on earth were many lesser kingdoms of various other false gods. Like I had said in one of my previous video about branches of Christianity. So out of Christianity, they came other low-end doctrines of people who follow. They call themselves Protestants, Baptists, Catholics. But originally they came under one God, and they started, multiple angels split away from the Christian God, just like the Islamic God, the Muslim God also split away from the Christian God, and he created his own religion, which people call Islam today, or Muslim. False gods, they mostly profess to be the true Christ, Jesus, Buddha, and Brahma, or Allah. Yeah, this is from the book of Knowledge, chapter 7, verse 13 and 15. So, yeah, it's proving to you that the religion that you follow in our world will continue in heaven as a beast. So you take that beast religion with you also to heaven. So now here is an interesting concept now. Now in the book of Exodus, chapter 51, verse 14 to 17. Now listen to this. Because some people you know they like that you show them the receipt. The receipt is OAHSPE. Because OAHSPE is giving you what has happened in our past time, past lives, and past times, previous events that happened before the Cosman era. The Cosman era started in the year 1848. The book of Exodus, chapter 51, verse 14 to 17. 14. Such was the magnificence of each of the four heavenly places of the four Eden gods, differing only a little from one another. Verse 15. In order to listen to this, this is a human who died and went to heaven. Listen to this. And now they want to see their God. They want to worship their God. They want to be stored. They want to serve their God. Now listen to verse 15. In order to obtain privilege of those going to look upon the throne and his God, one had to first serve 100 years in labor of that heaven, and to one's record good during all their lifetime. Now let's pause for a minute. So the average lifespan of human now is probably 75 years. If you live 80, 89, whatever. But the average lifespan is probably 75. Some 70, So I serve a God for 70 years. So now when I get to heaven, I gotta serve him in heaven for another 100 years just to be able to see his throne. You see what religion does, the religion in heaven? Yes, a religion like that. This verse 15 is telling you what these Eden gods, these low-level gods do to humans who follow religion in heaven. Verse 16. If in his mortal life a man had served his God by preaching and praying, you see that? Or fighting battles for him. Because we do have today where humans actually fight battles for their God. Your God created heaven and earth in 7 days, right? But you're fighting for him. Why can't you have your God come defend himself? Why can't your God of Genesis defend a scripture? You see, you have people doing this. And had thus attained a good record, 100 years servitude in heaven, entitled to him to visit his God on the throne at a distance. You see this? At a distance. Verse 17. But if the mortal had enemy to the God during his earth life, he could not attain to approach the throne in less than 300 years servitude. Wait. Let's be clear here. This verse 17 is very juicy. This is saying that, let's say this person disobeyed the God. was disobedient, like you didn't follow the rules and regulation. You refused to fight battle for your God. You did not pray to your God. You didn't pray. You did not preach the words of your God. Verse 17 is saying that now you cannot even attain to see your God when you die, but you now have to serve him, worship him. You have to worship God in the form of religion for another 300 years in heaven, which service consists of laboring in building mansions or paving roads in heaven for God, for your God, for a religion God. Now, you see this? Do, brothers and sisters, do you see the madness that religion has come upon us? And people are following this religion without even asking questions. I ask questions. I challenge the OahspeCollegeUniversity. I challenge the scriptures. I question the scriptures. You see, this is insane. Bringing produce up to the earth and bringing up all those atmospheric elements for the gratification and glory of the God and his 10 of millions of high officers. Now, let me continue because this is really juicy. Now look at this again. Here is the book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 10, saying, to walk to work the fireboat, there were 400,000 slaves, composed of spirit of those who on earth have been popes. You see that? Archbishop, bishops, cardinals, priests, and other who were serving their bondage of 200 years for the privilege of ultimately crawling on their bellies through the arena of the palace to approach near enough to look upon Luomong, which OahspeCollegeUniversity decoded as the Christian God. OahspeCollegeUniversity decoded it as being Christ, their supposed all highest God and Savior. You see that? So wait, Book of Acts chapter 7 verse 10. Let's summarize this. I'm a bishop. I'm a priest. I served the Christian God. I serve Christ, right? Now I got to build a boat for you. Now, even if I build a boat for you, I this boat built for you is only for me to have a privilege. It's only for me to have the opportunity to crawl on my bellies just to see you. Oh, nonsense. The book of Acts chapter 4 verse 13. 200,000 slaves worked on the boat, and many of these had been Buddhist priests. You see this in earth life, and we're now serving the apprenticeship of 200 years. So the average lifespan of a man is 75 years. So I gotta spend another 200 years just to see my Buddha. Wow, this is deep. Religion in heaven, brothers and sisters. This is what religion you follow in our world, and you also continue to do the same thing. You see this? Now, in the book of Judgment, chapter 4, there are many of these. This year here shows you the mess. The religion, of course, and people in our world still follow this, right? In the book of Judgment, chapter 4, verse 14 to 18. Of grade 1 verse 14, there are hundreds of millions of angels scrolling about on earth crying out, listen to this, I want to go to Brahma, I want to go to Buddha, I want to go to Jesus, I want to go to Christ. Verse 15, and I send my host of high raised angels to them to come to the kingdom of Jehovah, be clothed and fed. Look at that. The high raised angels want to feed them, saying, leave this Jesus, leave this Brahma, leave this Buddha. Be clothed to be clothed and fed others for this way of resurrection. Verse 16. But they will not believe. You see that? Turn away in stubbornness of heart, even as of you on the earth do, saying no. You see that? So, like, Brother Wame right now is educating, teaching you guys what the OahspeCollegeUniversity is saying about your religion. But of course, no, you don't want to hear. No, Brother Wame don't know what you're talking about. I will rise only by prayers. You see that? You see what religion is doing? The religion that you follow on earth, you're still doing the same thing. You're praying. That's a form of religion. And confession, you see that? I want to be changed in an instant, in the twinkle of an eye, and rise and sit at the right hand of God. Verse 17, and there are hundreds of millions who are being dead, do not know nothing, but through belief in judgment day went to sleep and waiting for the trumpet of Gabriel to call them forth. You see this? This is, and verse 18, I send my exalted ones to them to awaken them, call them up, but they are drunk in their faith. Faith? They are drunk in their religion, blind faith, blind religion. For they relapse again for years and years, for 100 years. So this verse 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 is giving you a summary, a conclusion of what happens for these people who actually believe in this religion God, the Eden gods, the low vibrational gods. There are four of them. We have many of them, but the major one is four, and they've divided our world where once you die, if you're not taken by the Creator's angel, they'll take you like in a snap. Brothers and sisters, yeah, you have it. Religion in heaven. I was watching a YouTube video a few weeks ago. It was one of the debate, and someone said there was no such thing as religion in heaven, that it doesn't exist. And my eyebrows raised up. I said, you're right. They are religion in heaven, because what you believe while or not, follows you to heaven, and that's a known fact. People don't want to believe the OahspeCollegeUniversity because they've not read it, and they're refusing to read it because they've never heard of it. Instead of them to take the book and take some time out and read it. And if you have questions, just do some research and ask the Creator to provide the answer. The Creator is right there. Light and peace, brothers and sisters. Subscribe to my YouTube video. I'll be posting more video that provides education, that provides spiritual growth, spiritual understanding, and spiritual knowledge. This is the OahspeCollegeUniversity solution to yesterday's knowledge. Bye bye now.